Linda, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna do another video in my series that I call Worth It. Basically, in this series, I wanna help you guys save money. There are so many crappy products out there that are not worth your money, whether they are drugstore priced or higher end brands, and I want you to know whether or not your hard-earned money is going into the correct place. I am so excited / nervous for this one. A couple of months ago, when the Melt Cosmetics GEMINI palette came out, I talked to you guys about how badly I wanted it, and then it sold out. Recently, Melt Cosmetics announced that they were putting it back on sale, and I had so many DMs from you guys that are like, Linda, did you see this is going back on sale? And you're damn right I did. I set myself like 4 alarms so I would not miss this one, and I was able to get my hands on it. As always, there's gonna be timestamps down in the description box below so you can skip ahead to any point in the video. These do tend to be a bit longer because I do want to dig deep and give you guys all the information that I can so you make the best informed decision. We're going to talk about packaging. We're going to talk about shipping, cruelty-free status. Spoiler alert, if I ordered something brand new, it's going to be cruelty-free on this channel. Then I'm gonna do a look on my eyes with the palette. I'm going to tell you guys my very first impressions, check in with you throughout the day, and then check in with you later on in the night so you can see how it wore on my eyes. But that's it. Before we get into this video, if you guys like saving money and knowing that your money is going to the right place, please give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and go ahead and smash that notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a new video. Let's jump right into it. First, I want to talk about the ordering process. The palette went on sale on Melt Cosmetics' site on Friday, September 21st, and by Wednesday, September 26th, I had it in my hand. I was super impressed with that because I know that this was a huge release for them, and I think they got it out pretty quickly. I am somebody who is so impatient. I blame places like Amazon Prime, so if I can have something in my hands in less than a week, I'm already impressed. I am in the United States, so my shipping was a flat rate of $7, and at first I admit that it made me cringe just a little bit because the palette itself is $58, which is not anything to sneeze at. And to add $7 on top of that, again, I'm somebody who's addicted to Amazon Prime where I get my free shipping free, even though you pay the subscription fee. It was a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, but it got here once they shipped it in 2 business days. So I am not mad about it. Next, I want to talk about packaging. Whenever I order a makeup palette, I always get nervous when I see a bubble envelope sitting in my mailbox because those things get jostled around so much and there is so much of a higher chance of breakage. I was really happy when this came in a very sturdy, very thick cardboard box. So you open up the box, and first of all, the cutest artwork ever. And I don't know if you can properly see exactly how much tissue paper is in here. It is an obscene amount. So this is the palette, and in addition, there's still all this padding. So it is very well protected. And then on top of that, there are, I'd say about 8 or 9 sheets of tissue paper just to hold the palette. The palette does come in this thin cardboard box, and the palette itself is also cardboard, but it is very sturdy and it does have a very strong magnetized closure, which makes me happy. Forgive me because these shades have already been swatched, but you do get a cover to cover all the shadows, and then there's a nice big mirror here, and then you have the palette itself. So all of the colors are labeled on the packaging, which makes me so happy because I hate it when they're on the back or something like that. And I'm pretty impressed with this. It is such a sleek palette that this is great for travel, in my opinion. Now, their return policy is pretty average, if you ask me. If you send them a photo within 30 days and you send the product back to them, you can get a return or exchange or a refund, things like that. You do have to pay the return cost of shipping, which is not ideal, but I'm never usually like too angry about that. I might just kind of, frown at it a little bit. As for their cruelty-free / vegan status on this, all cosmetics from Melt Cosmetics are cruelty-free. As for vegan, this palette is one that is not 100% vegan. All of the shades in here, except for Bonnie, the black shade, are vegan. Bonnie is unfortunately not. So if you only buy completely vegan products, this one is not going to be for you, unfortunately. I do wish that they maybe had reformulated that one color to make it vegan because it is possible to make black shadows that are vegan. So maybe that is something they would do in the future. I would like to see that. Next, let's get right into price comparisons. I'm gonna put a chart for you here on the screen that shows you various palettes that are out right now and show you the various breakdowns of cost per gram for each of these palettes. This palette falls right about in the middle / higher end. It is $3.09 per gram, and you can see that it is also the same exact price as, for example, the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. Other palettes similar in price are the Urban Decay Born to Run and Naked palettes. Of course, this is definitely not the cheapest thing out there. You've got brands like Morphe that are only 41 cents per gram. A lot of drugstore brands in general range from, $2 to 50 cents per gram, and they're just much more inexpensive and very good values for your dollar. Then you have brands like the Anastasia Norvina palette where it is $4.05 per gram. So again, this does fall right in the middle. It is something you are going to have to decide if this is where you want your money to go personally. Now I'm going to insert some swatches. The way that I do my swatches is I will do a finger swatch and then also a brush swatch. For the brush swatches, I did use 4 different brushes, but they are all basically the same. They are your average eyeshadow brush. And I would do a couple swipes on my arm just to blend the color out, but I only dipped into each color once for the swatch. Take a look, tell me what you guys think. Now, when I did these swatches, there were certain colors that I was absolutely blown away by, colors I was so surprised by, and there were a couple colors that make me a little nervous. I had heard that Gemini, which is that bright metallic gold pink shade, was terrible. It got terrible reviews on places like Temptalia. So when I tried it, I was expecting nothing. I was expecting a ton of glitter fallout, and then I got this beautiful swatch with my finger, and the brush swatch was complete crap. So I do believe that certain shades do need to be applied with the finger to get their full pigmentation instead of with a brush. Leo was the only shade I was a bit disappointed at. It is that dark olive green, and it is just, oh, it looks so beautiful with a finger swatch, and the brush was so crappy. And it is a matte shade, so I don't expect to be patting on matte shades with my finger. I will try it, but I really wish this one had performed a bit better with a brush. Bonnie was a shade that surprised me because black shades I feel like that are opaque are so hard to come by, and this one, both with a brush and with a finger, was opaque in one swatch and gorgeous. I also want to show you a few comparisons to shadows that I already have. Now, I don't have any of those mustardy shades, so there was nothing I could compare those to, and I also didn't want to compare shades like Luna or Polka Dot or Cupcake because I think a lot of us, we have various brown shades in our collection. We don't need to compare those because you're not buying this palette for the brown. First, let's take Gemini, which again is a metallic gold with a pink shift to it. I compared this to 2 different shadows that I already had in my collection, and warning, those 2 shadows are not cruelty free, but they were something I already had in my collection. First, we have MAC Amber Lights, and next we have a shade from the Morphe 350 palette. You can see that this shade definitely does pull differently than these 2. Gemini really has more of that gold shimmer, whereas Amber Lights is definitely more warm, and the shade from the Morphe palette is a little more deep. So I really do think that Gemini is a more unique shade. It is not the most unique shade, but I don't think that you would be upset if you had all of these in your collection. Then I wanted to take Goals, which is that bright olive green gold color, and it is so metallic and so beautiful. I compared it to 2 different MAC products. The first is a pressed shadow in Lucky Green, and the second is a pigment in Sumptuous Olive. I think that it's pretty obvious you can tell these are different. Goals definitely pulled a lot more gold than green, and that was a little bit unexpected to me, but it is still a beautiful color. You guys might have something else like this in your collection. So if you do have one of these gold shadows that shifts green rather than green that shifts gold, let me know down in the comments. And finally, I wanted to take these two shades from the Gemini palette to show you the differences, and that is Leo versus Fire OG. You can see that Leo is much deeper and darker than Fire OG, so I have no issue having these two in the palette. Even though they are a little bit similar, they're not the same. So the next thing I wanna do that I am hella nervous about is create a look for you guys. I'm gonna try something new for you guys in this video, and I wanna try to kind of speed through a look. I will show you what I'm using and you will see the application, but it will be sped up with maybe some music behind it just to make the video a little bit shorter for you guys. If you want a more in-depth tutorial in another video, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do that for you guys. Okay, let's talk first impressions. I will say right off the bat that if you consider yourself a beginner when it comes to makeup, this palette is not going to be one for you. The reason I say that is because these shadows are so pigmented that they take a lot of blending to really get going. Also, there is a lot of kick up in the pan. Every time I dip my brush in, powder would kind of go everywhere and I would have to tap off my brush to get it to not go all over my face. That being said, if you are into this colorway, I am so beyond happy with this palette. The colors sort of speak to me. This is like my grunge 90s fantasy right here. I love the look that I'm wearing right now. I am so freaking happy with it. I usually don't put black under my eyes. I am actually kind of afraid of black shadow a lot of the times, and I am so pumped about this. I am really curious to see how these colors last throughout the day. I just thought though, this would look kind of banging with a bright inner corner highlight, and there is also no highlight in this palette, so that's something else to keep in mind. I want to go into my Naked palette and I want to mix this kind of yellowy gold with the green and see how that would look. Okay, I like that actually. I feel like it kind of ties it together a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check in with you guys hopefully once or twice throughout the middle of the day. I do have a busy day. I have to run to Ulta, return some stuff, and I have to possibly buy something new because Ulta. I'm going out to lunch. I've got a bunch of errands to run in general. So again, I will check in with you guys and then I will check back in with you later on tonight to show you how the eyeshadows wore, because if they're crap, I'm gonna tell you guys they are crap because no one should spend $58 on something that is crap. Okay, bye. Okay, this is my first check-in. My makeup has been on for about an hour at this point, so not terribly long, but it is holding up nicely, and I just went to Ulta, and I actually got compliments from like a bunch of the girls who worked there, surprisingly, on my eye makeup, so I was like, well, I'm doing a video about it. I feel like I should have handed out my business card. I accidentally got too many business cards. I got 500 of them. So maybe I just need to be better about like being bold and giving out my business card, who knows? But I did exchange a bunch of stuff, but then I also got a couple things for the new Desi and Katie Dose of Colors collection, which I didn't think I was going to, and I couldn't resist once I saw it in person. So I'll check in more later. The shadow has been on for about 3 hours now, and I wanted to show you guys the inner corner here. Now this is not completely uncommon for black eyeshadows, but a bit of it has kind of spread and migrated into the inner corner and fallen down a little bit. It's not bad. I did use a lot of shadow, and this was my first time using the palette, so that could kind of be user error, but I did want to check in with you guys and let you know. So we're about 4 hours in, and I really wanted to put the eyeshadow to the ultimate test, which is the taco test. Okay guys, it is almost 7 o'clock at night, so this has been on for almost 8 hours at this point. I wish I could keep this on later, but I just want to wash my face. Do you ever get that where you're like, I just want shit to be off of my face? I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you in a bit, and I'm gonna take a close-up look and tell you my final thoughts on this day of wearing the palette for the first time. Well, I guess one thing that's obvious is that my foundation, it might as well be gone. As for the eyeshadow, as I mentioned in my check-in, in the inner corner, it is very dark. The darkness has gone there, the darkness. But it has gotten very dark here and here. But other than that, the metallic gold color has stayed beautiful and metallic. The black has stayed very black, and that kind of mustardy yellow that I put in my crease has stayed that color. The blending still looks pretty much the same as when I put it on at 11 a.m. I mean, the staying power is amazing. Hands down, amazing. I didn't do anything unusual for the primer. I didn't touch up my face. I did just touch up my lip gloss because other than that, I mean, I'm just barefaced at this point. But I think it's kind of badass that like while my foundation went away, even my contour is like pretty much gone. My powder is definitely gone. My eyeshadow looks pretty much the same as when I put it on at 11 a.m. Is this palette worth it? Yes, 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 yes. I genuinely want to make one of these videos for you guys at some point where at the end of the day, I'm like, no, this is not worth your money. This is complete crap. I know that sounds weird that I want to make that, but I want you guys to truly know that I am telling the truth in this. I am not sponsored by Melt Cosmetics. I mean, if they want to sponsor me, hit a girl out. I am not sponsored. I am not paid, anything like that. I buy all of this stuff with my own money. And my hard-earned money at that. I give myself like very small budgets for makeup throughout the year. So for me to purchase a $58 palette, it's a really big deal for me. I know it's not a big deal for a lot of people. It's a big deal for me. And I figure it's a big deal for a lot of you guys. So I want to make sure that you are getting your money's worth. And if you are into this colorway, I really do feel like you'd be getting your money's worth with this palette. Thank you guys so much for coming on this little journey with me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I always love hearing your opinions. Does the colorway interest you? Do you think that this is something you will be purchasing because it is still for sale? Does it even float your boat at all? Again, if you could give this video a thumbs up or subscribe, it would really mean the world to me. I work very hard on these videos and it is really a passion of mine, and I would love to see you guys back here for another video. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Those are all GlitterFallout, and I've been like crazy addicted to Twitter again lately. Do you guys go through phases like that where one platform really gets you? As always, you guys are super freaking rock stars, and I love you with my whole heart, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah! Bye!